And today we have day number 3 of the Core Elite reveals. And today we have the tight end, strong safeties, and free safeties. And by the way, tomorrow I will be live right here on YouTube for our first stream, I guess, technically, of Madden 24. But it's just going to be kind of like a test stream, making sure everything's working smoothly and things like that. For the Superstar watch party or Superstar reveal, whatever it's going to be. I don't even know what they're going to show off in this stream, but there's an EA stream tomorrow. So I'll be live for that. Might be live for an hour, 30 minutes. Just going to test some things out. But yeah, today we have tight ends, strong safeties, and free safeties. And here are the strong safeties. So the top 10, there's the list right there. Derwin at 1, CJ at 2, Duggar at 3, Harrison Smith, Jordan Poyer, Budda Baker, Kyle Hamilton, Jamal Adams, Adrian Phillips, and Talanoa Hufanga. Interesting ratings for sure, definitely interesting. But yeah, here are the stats. So Derwin James definitely is probably the best here. He's well-rounded. No matter how you want to use him in your defense, you can do it. Whether he's going to be a sub linebacker, over the top guy, can play man, can play zone. So Derwin James is going to be very expensive most likely, because usually the high overall core elites just are. So I expect that from Derwin James. Definitely do expect that. But 84 speed, and still, I know I actually was wrong about this yesterday. But still, the fastest card that we've seen, is still right here. The fastest card we've still seen is I thought we hadn't seen an 85 overall, an 85 speed player yet, but we actually have one. It's Montez Sweat, which is crazy. He's the fastest core elite revealed so far. You have Montez Sweat faster than some safeties in the game, well, faster than all the safeties that we've seen so far. Which is a little bit wild, but there's Derwin James, man zone, it's all there. CJ Gardner-Johnson's like a smaller, worse against the run, worse in man coverage option there for you. Probably would be best over the top. Kyle Duggar, I think I would probably keep him down there as a box safety. That makes the most sense for him, especially with 83 speed. I think 85 to 86, maybe even 87 speed is going to be used on some receivers most likely. So yeah, I would assume that Kyle Duggar I'd probably play him in the box. I think I'd play Kyle Duggar in the box. We should get a pretty good idea. And Harrison Smith, I probably wouldn't touch. 82 speed's a little bit too crazy, but he's good against the run, so maybe you want to see him get some play. But we should get a pretty good idea of what speed looks like whenever we see Kyle Pitts, which should be hopefully later in this video. Jordan Poyer, okay, like I'm not really moved by him. Budda Baker, a little bit undersized, but honestly he's pretty good. Kind of like a smaller Derwin James and slower, I guess. Kyle Hamilton, I like. I think if you have Kyle Hamilton and Kyle Duggar both playing in the box for you, that's a pretty good start at safety. You're able to use both the guys, both can play zone, both hit the 80 zone threshold. Obviously, we don't know what abilities are going to be yet, but I think Kyle Hamilton, Kyle Duggar are two good box safeties for sure. Jamal Adams, again, probably wouldn't really touch him. Adrian Phillips, don't touch him with a 25-foot pole. And the same thing with Talanoa Hufanga. Probably wouldn't touch him either. Derwin's obviously the best. But I like Duggar and what's his name? Kyle Hamilton. But someone's gonna have to play over the top, and not everyone's gonna be able to get Derwin James. So I'm very interested to kind of see what wide receiver speed's gonna be, and we should find that out tomorrow, of course. Okay, so EA just gave us our top 10 free safeties, and I'm not gonna sit here and argue the order. I don't really care about the order. What I do care about, honestly, about all these cards is if they're gonna be good or not. And they don't look good at all, man. Like only one card on here I think's gonna be even considered on like a day one team. I feel like some team builders have a chance to actually be better than this card, as well as the Cameron Crowe card is probably pretty good too. But the free safeties off rip, they need help, unless there's like a good budget guy at like an 80 overall with like better speed or something like that. Because I don't know, maybe speed's not gonna matter as much, but for the first time ever in MUT. But 84 speed Minka, I think, is the only free safety that really makes sense to me. He's pretty much equivalent with Derwin. Derwin usually weighs more and is a little bit taller, so Derwin's going to have that slight edge in my opinion. But yeah, Minka 86 zone coverage over that man threshold at 80. 84 speed, good acceleration. But outside of that, you're just going to see a bunch of guys that are too slow and too short. Here's an example of a guy who's going to be too slow. Maybe you could use her with Justin Simmons, but we already know we're going to have those 85 speed receivers, potentially 86, and that's a 4 speed difference potentially on day one, which is absurd. Like, you don't want to have it on your field, especially as like an over-the-top guy. If anything, these guys have to be box guys. It's simple as that. And then he's too small. He's pretty well balanced, but the speed's just low. 82 speed's crazy to me. I feel like they could have bumped, again, all these guys' speeds up one. Intel Winfield's too small. Jimmy Ward, 81 speed's ridiculous. These free safeties, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, though, because I just don't know. I don't know who's getting rostered on this team, man. And also another thing I noticed is that, I mean, I was waiting. I had a feeling, I just didn't want to be. I want to be 100% sure. I'm pretty sure in the beta it was just safety, where you could have a free safety play strong safety and a strong safety play free safety the same way it works on the offensive line. But no, going in here, we're gonna have free safeties and strong safeties, not universal safeties. Maybe on like later cards, they'll like on certain guys who like actually played strong and free safety at some point in their career, they'll just give them universal safety. Maybe none of these guys fit that criteria. But I don't know, man. The free safety is definitely a little bit disappointing. So hopefully the tight ends can save this reveal. I'm looking forward to seeing Kyle Pitts. And finally, here are the tight ends. Of course, Travis Kelce at number 1, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, Dallas Goedert, TJ Hawkinson, Darren Waller, Kyle Pitts, David Njoku. We have Mike Gesicki, and finally Zach Ertz. Mike Gesicki is a Patriot. I actually did forget about that. But yeah, here are the tight ends. The list to me looks pretty solid. I probably would have moved up Darren Waller a little bit. I feel like he's at that 84, potentially 85 range. In my opinion, I also like Darren Waller. But that's really it. That's really it. And here are the stats. So first things first, Travis Kelce. I know I know people might look away from him because of the speed, and his price tag is going to be higher than most. But it's not awful. I mean, the route running is good. As long as his route running stays somewhat elite, the card's gonna play okay. I'm sure he's gonna get some kind of ability that makes him worth running. But obviously, it's all just speculation. But looking at that 81 speed, a little bit scary for an 86 overall. Most likely gonna be a pretty expensive card on day one. Next up, George Kittle. I always like early game George Kittle cards because he's a mix of good speed, decent route running, and good run blocking. So you're kind of trading the pass catching ability of Travis Kelce and putting it into the run blocking on George Kittle. George Kittle, yeah, he's always good. He's always good. Not a bad secondary option there. Mark Andrews, however, he's just like he's kind of like Kelce. He's basically just Kelce. I think there will probably be a pretty large price discrepancy between Kelce and Mark Andrews, but really between how they're going to play, it won't be that crazy. So if Mark Andrews says like maybe like 50K, 75K difference, I mean, it's just basically just a name at that point. So Mark Andrews, 81 speed, good route running, looks good to me. Next up, Dallas Goedert. Again, probably wouldn't really go after him, but he's just kind of a slower version of the last two guys. And then we also have TJ Hawkinson, who's 6'6" or 6'5". Nothing crazy there. But these next two names I do really like. Darren Waller, 6'6" with 83 speed. I'm surprised that Waller has the same speed as George Kittle. I thought for sure Waller would get 84 speed. And I also thought for sure the next guy on this list right here, Kyle Pitts, was going to get 85 speed. But still, I mean, somehow Montez Sweat is the fastest core elite card we've seen so far. Montez Sweat is apparently faster than safeties, free safety, strong safeties, running backs. He's faster than Kyle Pitts, which is crazy. I would love to see both of them race. And all I know is if they give Tyreek Hill 85 speed tomorrow, tomorrow, right? It's going to be crazy. I don't know. I feel like he at least there's 86 at this point. And David Njoku there as well. And Mike Gesicki, 78 speed and 77 speed. Zach Ertz. Interesting. 80 overall. This is actually our lowest overall card we've seen so far. But those are the tight ends, man. I don't know. I like Kittle. I like Waller. And I think if you like that Andrews Kelce kind of tight end, and normally they play well to start the year. Kelce cards they usually always overlooked because of their speed, but they always find a way to play well. So this year really should be no different. Obviously it does depend on abilities. He's also one overall higher than Kittle and Mark Andrews, so there might be like a slightly better ability for Kelce, but who knows. But that's gonna do for today's video. Like I said, I will be live tomorrow right here on YouTube for hour 30 minutes, 45 to an hour. It's just a short test stream talking Madden 24. So if you want to come through live right here on YouTube, make sure your notifications are on. And as always, I will see you boys in the next one.